What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another OJ Speaks. Today we've got a lot of great discussion topics for you guys, so let's go ahead and hop right in, shall we? So the first one that we're going to be discussing is actually something that I talked about in my previous PlayerEssence Cross Nintendo live stream that I did have, that is up on the channel if you want to see the full reactions from you guys, the community. But I talked about how there is a GameInformer editor out there that talked a little bit more about this whole Metroid Prime 4 situation and kind of what's going down there. And what he had to say is that Metroid Prime trilogy has actually been done for quite some time, which I've talked to you guys about. And yes, I also got word that Metroid Prime trilogy has been done for quite some time, and we all felt, a lot of people in the industry kind of felt, that it was going to be revealed at the Game Awards or sometime in December or at least January at some point, and that did not happen at all. And now we've gotten some more information with Shinya Takahashi coming out and saying, you know, what's going down with Metroid Prime 4 and how that Retro Studios is taking over at the helm for the game, and they've shifted the development because they want to make sure that they get out a quality product. So whatever Bandai Namco and whoever else they were working with were doing with Metroid Prime 4, it wasn't up to the quality standards that Nintendo wants to have. But I honestly feel like, on a whole separate note, that's actually a good thing for the industry, Nintendo coming out and doing this, because you don't see it a lot. You'll just see companies stumble and fumble and bumble and not really explain things for quite some time, and then 10 years later Final Fantasy 15 comes out, or like 6 years later Kingdom Hearts comes out. And I think the transparency here is good. Obviously they could have done things better in hindsight, but at least they came out and did say that. But another thing that the GameInformer editor had to say is that Retro Studios actually put together a demo and pitched it to Nintendo, and that could have possibly changed the outcome of what Nintendo was going to do with Metroid Prime 4. Apparently, they were so impressed with this demo that Retro Studios put together for Metroid Prime that they said, you know what, we're going to go in this direction. Retro Studios still has it. They can get the job done when it comes to Metroid Prime 4. So the one thing that I see people talking about quite a bit was like, why wasn't Retro Studios on the project in the first place? And I think that we're going to figure that out very soon here, or at least there's people that already know, but I've talked about it quite a bit when it comes to the whole Star Fox racing game that's like Diddy Kong Racing or some type of different type of hybrid. I think Retro Studios has been working on a different project, and that was initially the reason why maybe they weren't put on Metroid Prime 4, but this could mean that that game is wrapping up. That's what I think. It's wrapping up or already completed, and they can move on to making Metroid Prime 4 from the project that they've done before, which would be the rumored Star Fox racing game. So if that is the case with all this going down, because remember, this is a GameInformer editor that is talking on the matter, but I don't see any reason why he would lie when it comes to it, and he's been reliable in the past when it comes to things. So I do feel that this is good. This is definitely good. Retro Studios is saying, hey, we can get out there a very quality project. Maybe they heard through the Nintendo grapevine that the project wasn't working too well and everything. And another thing that the GameInformer editor said is that it seems like there were outsourced studios for Metroid Prime 4, and that some of the studios were saying, hey, everything is going well. Yes, everything's working. Then some other studios, it was like the whole meme with the dog inside the house that's burning, like, yo, this is not going well. So I think that having it all under one house with Nintendo supervising, like they've done before with Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, was probably the best call, and better to get it out now at this point than wait another year or 2 years and say, you know what, this isn't working, which has happened before in the past, guys, and actually happens to current games. We see that, and they're able to rebound. There's been issues with various titles, which I talked about on PlayerEssence Cross Nintendo, with stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles X, where they had to scrap a ton of different things. Also games like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, that was completely different. They had to scrap and kind of restart, completely different concepts and everything. So it's not like it's an uncommon thing for that to happen, even within Nintendo or the gaming industry. You know, it happens. And this time Nintendo was just actually really transparent about it and just came out and told us, instead of doing the Tokyo Mirage Sessions or the Xenoblade Chronicles X and just like waiting so long, then telling us afterwards in an interview or something like that. So overall, definitely not happy with how things went down with Metroid Prime 4 when it comes to the delay and everything. But then again, guys, I'm not the biggest Metroid Prime fan out there. I actually like the 2D games a lot more than the 3D games. So I'm thinking that we are going to see Metroid Prime Trilogy at some point. I think that it's ready to go. They just need to announce a date. I don't know when that's going to be, but they just need to announce it. We also are getting some reports today that it's going to be sometime first half of 2019, so we'll see what happens with that. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here, and I'm going to be discussing Wii U ports, or just ports in general. And it seems like anytime there is a port released, you have almost the same crowd that says, why is this coming out? Or why is Nintendo making a port of this? Or why is Nintendo doing from this Wii U game over to Switch? We need to have blah, 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 blah. And all I can do literally is just look at this number right here that you guys are seeing. 13.56 million. That is the number that the Wii U sold. Total overall units. 13.56 million. There were a bunch of games on the Wii U that were actually pretty good first-party titles that are sitting there just to die on the Wii U. If you're Nintendo and you're looking at the pathetic sales of the Wii U at 13.56, yet you produced some nice high-quality software, or even just good quality software, or just software on the system, why would you not say, nobody played this system here? Obviously, 13.56 million is a colossal failure for a mainline Nintendo home console. There's been no other system, main Nintendo home console, that's ever sold this low, yet Nintendo put out HD software, so their most expensive development software out there, maybe since the N64 or the Super Nintendo, whatever the case is. Developing games is not cheap, yet they have the worst selling main system of all time in Nintendo history. I know there's been some other systems out there that have done worse, but main home console, there hasn't been any. So if you're Nintendo, of course you're going to put out games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and see how well the game has sold. Of course you're going to put out games like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And of course you're not going to gimp the value of those games. You're going to put them out for whatever price they were out when they launched, because you sold so few of them, because the Nintendo Wii U sold so poorly. You didn't make anywhere near as much money as you thought as a business. Not saying that they didn't do well. Obviously Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Mario Kart 8 did well on the Wii U. Obviously New Super Mario Bros. Sold, but they still could have sold a lot more if the system didn't sell so bad, which is their fault too, by the way, not putting the blame on anybody else. But I'm just saying, if you're Nintendo from a business standpoint, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be bringing over all of these games, because all of them sold way less than what they should have sold because of the install base. And we're already seeing that with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe outselling Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U fairly quickly. We're also seeing even like the 3D games, Zelda games, whatever games come out, they're all doing better than what they would have done on the Wii U because the install base is there. So every single time that I see videos or I see people saying, why is this coming? Or, oh my gosh, another Wii U port, they're acting like this system sold like the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360. By the way, those systems still get ports. Even though those systems sold way better than what Nintendo did, I still actually buy ports on other systems. This is not something to where it's like exclusive to Nintendo. I buy ports all the time. I've got these two right here, and I've got a lot more behind me on the shelf. This is just something that's been standard for me. If I want to play a game in better quality, if I want to be able to stream it and have just better overall visuals or sound or whatever the case is, I have no problem with the port coming over. And if it's worth the price tag of 60 bucks or 50 bucks or whatever they decide to put it at, then it's worth that. The Wii U has not disappeared. If you want to play the game on the Wii U and buy it at a cheaper price or replay it, you can do that. This is for people who haven't. So I always get like, why are people freaking out about a port or getting so upset about it when it's still there on the system? One of the main things that I do see though quite a bit is they're saying, oh, well, that takes away some time or resources from new games, but that's not the case. Nintendo has released more new games with the Switch than they have pretty much in the past, like what, 10, 20 years or something like that. I have never seen such a flow of new games, not talking about ports, but new games coming within 2 years of the Nintendo Switch's life. We've already got a mainline Zelda, a mainline Mario, a mainline Smash Brothers game. We've gotten a mainline Xenoblade. We've gotten a huge expansion to that. We got a brand new Mario Tennis. We got a brand new Mario Party. We got brand new IPs like ARMS. We got Sushi Striker. We got so many different things, so many different games, Splatoon 2, not even including the ports, okay? So there's been a number of brand new games, more than what we usually get, and definitely more than what we got with the Wii U. So there's been a number of brand new games that have came out, so it's not like these are taken away from new games coming out. Nintendo has enough resources and teams and the size to make sure that they can make ports in addition to new games as well. So to me, it's not really that big of a deal. It happens on systems that are far more successful than the Wii U ever was and don't really need it, but they did it anyway. Like The Last of Us, right? The Last of Us came out on the PlayStation 4, and that was a good idea. I bought the PS4 because of that. I was like, you know what? I want to play The Last of Us. They have a bundle with it in and everything. So that was a good idea, and that game sold like crazy on the PlayStation 4, and it sold like crazy on the PS3, yet it still came out, you know? So I'll never understand why people complain about these type of things. Don't buy it if it's an issue, and there are enough games, there are enough new games for a lifetime. There are enough new games that people don't play that they probably want to play but don't have the time or money or whatever the case is that come out. There's plenty of all that. So to me, it doesn't matter at this point. So that's my take on the matter. I know a lot of you guys have talked to me about this, whether I'm going to discuss it more, and that's kind of what I think. And I've actually put out old videos too, so you guys can check out my old videos on what I've said about ports as well. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the last topic here, guys, we're going to discuss backseat gaming, and we're going to discuss what I'm going to be doing with my live streams going forward. So this is more of just us talking as a community with this last one here, guys. And recently I was playing some Resident Evil 2 on the channel, and I actually had a lot of fun, but unfortunately there was just way too much backseat gaming. And what I mean by that is, like, when people say, hey, go do this, and like I don't ask a question like, hey guys, how do I do this, or how do I get this, and to have some chat interactivity. And there's times that I'll do that, but a lot of times people were just literally play-by-play narrating what to do in the game as if they wanted to play the game themselves. Obviously they've already played it, and they're just telling you what to do each step by step. And it even got to one point to where someone actually ruined a jump scare or a potential jump scare for people in the chat that want to see that type of experience. Especially when you play a game like Resident Evil, you know, you want to have those jump scares, you want to have those, oh my gosh, what happened? And then you have people in the chat that are ruining that by saying, get ready, okay, there's something coming up, get your shotgun ready. I mean, and that kind of just ruins the experience overall when it comes to the game, when it comes to people watching. And it's not everybody that's doing that in the chat. It's a few people that aren't trolls, you know, that aren't bad people, that aren't people that are looking to ruin the experience, but they can't help themselves. And it seems like this is a thing that happens all over. It's not just my stream, which I don't get like a ton of views or a ton of people watching for gameplay streams anyway, because a lot of people just like to watch my informational videos and PE Cross Nintendo and all that. But I think that when new games do come out, and I do want to stream it for you guys so we can kind of share that experience for people who don't want to play the game or aren't going to play it and just want to see what I have to say, I think it kind of ruins it for everyone. So I'm thinking about a policy change here, guys. I'm thinking about going back to doing some Let's Plays of the games, which have been successful on the channel, by the way. Like, I didn't stream the Naruto games, I didn't stream the Resident Evil Revelations, I didn't stream that, but those all did really well when it comes to just Let's Plays and my take on them when it comes to the game. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go back to that, and anytime that we stream games online or when I stream for you guys, it's going to be stuff like Super Smash Brothers, or it's going to be a game that I've already beaten, so it's not going to be a thing that can ruin it for the chat or ruin it for myself. So I think that's what we're going to do going forward, which is what we had before, but I kind of wanted to bring you guys new games on the day one and everything, but it seems like some people just can't handle the backseat gaming impulses that they do have. And I've noticed that on other streams as well. People backseat game like crazy, and it's annoying as heck, man. It's really annoying. So I think going forward, we're gonna do Let's Plays in terms of things, and then if I've beaten the game and I want to stream it for you guys for like a second time or something, then I'll do that. So maybe like a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country, already beaten that, and I can just stream that. I already know what to do, and I can kind of go through some of the new stuff. So mainly just gonna do Smash Brothers and games that where you can't really do stuff like that and ruin it, just because the experience with Resident Evil 2 and other games as well is just not very good. Octopath had the same type of thing, people just ruining things all over. Not bad people, they just can't control themselves, which happens on like every single stream that I watch, you know. So we're just gonna shake things up a little bit, but you guys still will get gameplay streams and everything. That's still going to happen, but just look forward to more new game releases, just gameplay videos and stuff like that. So what do you guys think about this here when it comes to all the different discussion topics for OJ Speaks? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace.